Good morning. Welcome back to Morning Heart Devotion at the Atlanta Family Church. Glad to see everybody here. One moment. Sorry, I'm just pulling up the slideshow. But yeah, I'm glad to see everyone here. I'm glad to see everyone here at Morning Devotion doing their God check. If they remember from a couple sermons ago, that was the God check, right? So very beautiful to see everybody. So we're gonna do this first things first. Every single morning, we just want to make a greeting to heavenly parents and true parents. So if you can join me in a bow. All right. Chanjin Champamonim Kyumbe. Paro. Number one, our family, the owner of Chanoguk, pledges to seek our original homeland and build the kingdom of God on earth and in heaven, the original ideal of creation by centering on true love. Number two, our family, the owner of Chanoguk, pledges to represent and become central to heaven and earth by attending the heavenly parent and true parents. We pledge to perfect the dutiful family way of filial sons and daughters in our family, patriots in our nation, saints in the world, and divine sons and daughters, in heaven and on earth by centering on true love. Number three, our family, the owner of Chanoguk, pledges to perfect the four great realms of Far, the three great kingships, and the realm of the royal family by centering on true love. Number four, our family, the owner of Chanoguk, pledges to build the universal family encompassing heaven and earth, which is the heavenly parent's ideal of creation, and perfect the world of freedom, peace, unity, and happiness by centering on true love. And number five, our family, the owner of Chanoguk, pledges to strive every day to advance the unification of the spirit world and the physical world as subject and object partners by centering on true love. And number 6, our family, the owner of Chanoguk, pledges to become a family that moves heavenly fortune by embodying the heavenly parent and true parents, and to perfect a family that conveys heaven's blessing to our community by centering on true love. And number 7, our family, the owner of Chanoguk, pledges through living for the sake of others to perfect the world based on the culture of heart, which is rooted in the original lineage by centering on true love. And 8, our family, the owner of Chanoguk, pledges, having entered the era of Chanoguk, to achieve the ideal of God and human beings united in love through absolute faith, absolute love, and absolute obedience, and to perfect the realm of liberation and complete freedom in the kingdom of God on earth and in heaven by centering on true love. And if I can ask, actually, join me in prayer. Good morning, Heavenly Parent, true parent. Thank you so much for this day, this time, this moment. We're here as our brothers and sisters, part of the Atlanta Family Church morning devotion. We're so grateful for everything that you've done for us, and we just want to be able to move to providence and be able to help you and support you in creating a better world and a world that is actually closer to you and in your embrace and closer to your embrace, Father. And we pray that we can be able to be better every single day than we were yesterday, and we want to be able to grow every single morning. So we can be able to still reconnect to you, God, because I know sometimes this world disconnects us from your providence and your love and your heart. But we need this more every morning to be able to reconnect that heart and be stronger than ever to help the providence and help the movement. So I pray that you can join us, and I pray and import the name of the Damandikak, Pastor couple. Amen. Aju. All right. And then so now we're going to go into breakout rooms to talk about our gratitudes. I'm going to jump into them. So I will see you all in 7 minutes. Let me just create them real quick. All right. We'll see you all in 7 minutes. And for all the people on YouTube, please share with a partner or share with somebody, or just reflect if you have nobody there. Otherwise, I'll see you in 7 minutes. All right, welcome back. Sorry, I had myself on mute. Like to hear two sharings today. So maybe the first one, if we can hear Mama Coco, if you'd like to share this morning about your gratitude.
Okay, good morning, brothers and sisters. Hi. Yeah, this morning I was in breakout with Sister Catherine. And then I was sharing that I was very grateful because yesterday we have great work at the church. We connected with Belvedere. Yeah, so I was feeling the spirit was very different. And then Reverend Chang was giving all the explanation how to remove the evil spirit, how the evil spirit work on us, how we see the importance. It's the thing we know already, but I was feeling more connection for everything he was saying, and the spirit was totally different. And then I was feeling also that it was a deep focus in the brother and sister, even those who was there. We was here in Atlanta, but we can feel the spirit. And then I was sharing with Sister Catherine that every night I have leg pain, for a long time. And then I sleep always with this pain. During the day, the pain disappeared. But yesterday in Ansu, I was really tapping for and concentrate and praying for that. Today, I sleep, I didn't have pain at all. I sleep like a baby. And then I'm so grateful for that. And then yesterday we have a yard sale. Yeah, some sister came, it was Esther Tamale, Mama Boff, Osama San, and Sister Mary, God bless her heart. Yeah, some another sister who was there, it was not, the thing was selling was not really too much, it's all stuff, but just what I like, the spirit to walk together in that moment, the atmosphere, stuff, the glasses, some stuff brother and sister give, but just being together, walking together in this small stuff. And then I was feeling that our heart was really united. And then the atmosphere was very, very good. We didn't make really money, but it's just the spirit to being there together. It was very beautiful. So I'm grateful for that. Yeah, thank you so much, brothers and sisters. That is my gratitude this morning.
Thank you. All right, thank you, Mama Coco. I'm very grateful that the spirit was successful, at least yesterday, for the yard sale, but also very grateful for them doing chumbo, because obviously the only time we could have done it before they came to America was only in Korea. So having the experience here in America is such a beautiful thing to have this chunbo in America. I know we started a few years back, but it's such a privilege to have chunbo in America. So very grateful for that as well. And I'm glad it's working. And I'm sure they would love to hear a written testimony sometime. So if you ever want to send it up, you can. All right. Thank you, Mama Coco. And I would like to ask Rhonda Schmidt, would you like to share this morning? This is Rhonda Schmidt.
Good morning. Yes, I was in the breakout with the Cheon Shim Won room, and so that's always special. And yes, I was just sharing that when I woke up this morning, my brain was pretty fuzzy and foggy, and I wasn't thinking so clearly. And anyway, but every day I'm always grateful that we have brothers and sisters who are coming together, not only here, but everywhere in our country and even throughout the world. And that in my mind, I always think of it as like a sunrise or a flower opening as each time zone passes by and more brothers and sisters come and join. I mean, it was like that when Dr. Young was on the East Coast, and he started it out like a flower blooming and opening as the day passes by until all of the world is covered and the flower is fully opened, and it's like an offering to God and also our sustenance for the day. So, and even those who join, who watch the recordings later. So I'm just really grateful for everybody who puts in this effort and you know, for the sake of one another, for the sake of our true parents, for the sake of our elder son nation, and everything that goes with it. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Schmidt. All right. Yes, and thank you for, I know you said you woke up a little fuzzy, and I understand that sometimes, you know, it's hard to get out of bed as well. And I'm glad that you actually made it to morning devotion and saw the heart behind morning devotion as well. Morning devotion's here for everyone here, and hopefully we can get some people across timelines, but I think they also have their own Cheon Shim Won they're probably joining. But we would love to get anybody nearby as well. So that also is a testament, if you guys want to be able to share with people in the community, to make this morning devotion group a lot bigger, so we can be able to share the love and share God's message for the world, so, and Mother's message for the world too, through the book. But thank you, Mrs. Rhonda Schmidt, and thank you, Mama Coco, for this morning. All right, we're gonna, first of all, I just want to say, yes, welcome to Morning Light Devotion if you're joining us now on YouTube or anywhere else, or the recordings later. And I would like to apologize for the past few days. We've just been having quite a few appointments, and we weren't able to attend the 2 morning devotions for the past 2 days. But we're grateful that we're back now. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into the reading. And I believe it should be on 183. Science is a stepping stone. If I'm wrong, please feel free to stop me. I believe this is correct, though. Science is a stepping stone. Once in a while, you hear religious people devalue science as having nothing to do with God, and secular people devalue religion as having no practical use. Both sides separate God and science. Both are in error. God wants us to develop science and technology as tools with which we can exercise the dominion of love over all things. That is God's great blessing. We must love nature with the same heart as God and cultivate it for the benefit of the humanity. This is God-centered science and technology. In 1972, my husband and I convened the first international conference on the unity of sciences. As with any new project, we endured many obstacles and birth pangs to bring it into the world. And then after ICUS was launched, many scholars accused us of using scientists to legitimize ourselves. In many cases, the development of ICUS went like this. A scholar would be approached with a personal invitation saying, "Professor, I sincerely invite you to attend this upcoming science conference." He or she would send a response that said, "I have heard that the founders of this forum are Reverend Dr. Song Moon and his wife, and I am opposed to them." Several years later, this same scholar would accept our invitation and present his or her work at the conference. This was because he or she had realized the true motivation of ICUS. As the years passed, we received enthusiastic responses from distinguished scholars worldwide, who were wary at first, then participated and became loyal supporters. This is because through ICUS, they discovered the larger purpose of their work. We always considered ICUS themes with care. The first ICUS, which convened in New York City, was on the topic, the moral orientation of the sciences. My husband and I, as the founder, wanted to raise the question of what science could do for the sake of humanity. The purpose and goal of sciences are to realize humanity's dream. My husband said in his opening address, scientific civilization, by its very nature, must be shared by humankind as a whole. We convened the second ICUS in Tokyo in 1973 under the theme Contemporary Science and Ethical Values. Thanks to the participation of the Nobel Prize laureates, the conference attracted much attention. While the first conference assembled just 20 scientists from the 7 nations, the second ICUS drew 60 participants from 18 nations. And just 1 year had become a global forum. This is the picture with Father Moon giving the founder's address at the early ICUS, and their true father. By 1981, when we held the 10th ICUS in Seoul, 808 scholars attended from approximately 100 nations. ICUS had become the leading global forum of its kind. During that event, we proposed a free and generous exchange of technology among nations, something that had never been imagined in history. Our view is that because science and technology are revealed and given by God, they're a commonwealth of all humanity. We emphasize that no country should monopolize these common assets. My husband and I sponsored the ICUS Forum to promote the free exchange of science and technology. Now, our intention especially was to see science and technology shared with the developing countries in Africa, Latin America, and Asia. Put another way, we wanted developed countries to globalize the cutting-edge standard of science and technologies by sharing their tools and methods with developing nations. To set an example, when we saw food shortages in some parts of Africa, we donated machinery for the development of sausage factories. We arranged for education and advanced methods of crop cultivation and livestock breeding. In South America, we raised cattle. Also, we planted trees and took other measures to keep nature green and pristine. In Kona, on Hawaii's Big Island, we started a coffee plantation. Harvesting coffee beans is strenuous work, and cultivating the plant requires great skill as well. Initially, we suffered serious losses because we did not spray pesticides, which damaged human health. In time, we found a way to repel insects without using harmful chemicals, and now we're producing premium coffee that is pesticide-free. We purchased automobile assembly lines in Germany and established automobile factories in China and North Korea. When we saw farmers doing the back-breaking work of sowing rice by hand, we acquired the agricultural machine factory and supplied them with the equipment they lacked. Looking upward into the sky, we established Korea Times Aviation to support state-of-the-art aviation technology and space engineering. These efforts and more naturally go through ups and downs, but our vision is unchanging. We learn as we go, and our investments will continue. This is February 23rd, 2018, the 24th ICUS Seoul. Following a hiatus since the year 2000, ICUS was relaunched at the 23rd ICUS in 2017. For years, the ICUS Forum led to countless scientific collaborations and new friendships. In 2000, we entered a new phase of the providence and put ICUS on hold. I renewed the annual International Conference of the Unity of Sciences in 2017. The 24th ICUS held in 2018 gathered hundreds of participants devoted to pioneering new paradigms for scientific research. In my opening remarks to that conference, I cast the vision. To solve the many problems facing our world, whether they are religious or scientific, first you must know correctly about God, who is the origin of the universe, and about true parents, then you will be able to find the solutions. ICUS is gathering scientists, engineers, and inventors to harmonize the technologies and tools in our hands with the ecology of the natural world as well as our original human nature, created by God for the purpose of realizing authentic human happiness and lasting peace. Chapter 6, creating the road to one world. One street, one global neighborhood. On the southern Japanese island of Kyushu, there's a small port city named Karatsu. This city on the shores of the Korea Strait is famous for the pottery that bears its name. Karatsu pottery was originally created by Korean potters. During the 1980s, the key members visited the city several times on our behalf to develop an international project. Karatsu was the launching site for an initiative that my husband had announced at our international conference on the Unity of Sciences in the autumn of 1981. The construction of an international peace highway circumscribing the globe. The vision is for a high-speed transportation artery linking the entire globe. On the day of its completion, much of our world would become one village linked by one road. The process of constructing the highway itself provides the world's peoples and governments a common purpose. And transnational lines of commerce and recreation that open up will stimulate inter-ethnic exchange of culture and goods and draw us to live in harmony as neighbors. That highway would pass through a tunnel connecting Korea's Busan with Karatsu. And there in 1986, we commenced pilot tunnel construction. I had long been interested in visiting the site. Finally, in 2016, I had the opportunity to go and see it. During my visit, I renewed our movement's commitment to the Peace Highway. I believe that the world's people are ready for this, and the time is right for launching the project based upon a global plan. To tell this story to the world from the street to the Senate building, I had already created an affiliated project, Peace Road. It consists of public activism, publicizing the international highway. It has turned into a global movement for peace. I'll share more about the Peace Road later. November 14, 2016, at the construction site of a test tunnel built for the Korea-Japan underwater tunnel. Regarding construction, the biggest challenges are those of crossing the span of oceans that separate Alaska from Russia and Korea from Japan. The divides between these territories are both physical and spiritual. And the joint commitment to building a road uniting them will represent important steps towards peace for the human race. Of course, it is not an easy task. Since the dawn of a human history, there has been no greater engineering and social challenge. Yet I know that it is possible and that it represents the ultimate task that much must be accomplished in our era. Our harmonious cooperation of all peoples and governments. Attitudes that persist based on the tormented history between Korea and Japan are a huge obstacle. They give rise to the opposition to the tunnel. But we have to forgive, forget, and set our minds on the positive outcomes. An undersea tunnel connecting Busan and Korea with Karatsu in Japan will boost our respective abilities to contribute to the global economy. The anchor cities of Karatsu and Busan will become hubs for global trade, linking the Eurasian continent to the Pacific region. The tunnel will unite these two nations' cultural assets, both traditional and cutting edge, for global tourism. Most importantly, its construction will plant the roots of peace in Asia. The cooperation between these two countries will serve as a model for having healing the wounds of conflict and hostility felt in nations and among peoples throughout the world. The reality is, however, that the powerful nations pursue their own interests. I encourage leaders to think about England and France, who waged war against each other for a century, yet join hands to build a channel tunnel that will connect them together. If the Korean and Japanese people open their hearts and accomplish genuine forgiveness and reconciliation, we see the Korea-Japan peace tunnel built in our time. This tunnel will not be just symbolized, but realized humanity's future based not on fear but on hope. My husband and I therefore prayed that constructing this tunnel as part of the Peace Highway would create a low pressure area on the Korean Peninsula, into which the high pressure area surrounding the peninsula to the east and west would converge to bring unity on the peninsula. Looking at a map with motherly heart, I feel as if the island and continent long for each other. The peninsula is where they meet. All right, I'm going to stop there. I believe on page 192, we are stopped on talking about the Peace Road and talking about specifically the Peace Road, sorry, the highway that goes around the world on one road, which we know later became the same project as Peace Road. But yes, so the first thing that they talked about is ICUS and the fact that we have to be able to understand that God made science as well, and we can't be, if you're scientific, we can't neglect God either. So those are the main 2 points in being able to actually converge into creating different scientific explorations that will actually change the world and change the providence as well, and be able to help support the world in places. And I'm glad that, this is a way for us to be supportive, like the ones that they really helped with charity or anything else that has been a great measure to be able to change the world. So the second one is really talking about the Unity Highway, the highway that really connects the whole world. And of course, we always talked about unification. That's our main goal since day one, right? That's our movement, unification. Even though we don't say Unification Church anymore, we still say Family Federation for the World Peace and Unification, right? So that's still there, of course. And so we would always want to be able to unify no matter what we can do. So we're going to jump into all our breakout rooms and to be able to talk about this passage just a little bit more. Just give me one moment. Okay. All right. I'll see you all in 7 minutes. If you're on YouTube, please share with a neighbor or we'll reflect. Welcome back, everybody. Yes, welcome back to the main room. Live for everyone. There you go. All right, nice to see your beautiful faces. So I would like to ask two people to share today, and the first one being, I would like to ask, Mrs. Grice, would you like to share today?
Yes. When we were reading Mother's biography, I was thinking about science and religion, and that during the history of mankind, it was always difficult for science and religion to get along, because especially science was insisting on having proof of everything. And so because they didn't have proof that God exists, they didn't believe in God. So even when I was growing up, I also at some point didn't believe in God, because he is invisible and I'm not sure he exists. So this was my reasoning. But I also realized when I was doing that I felt so depressed, and inside myself, there was something which just felt really sad when I believed that. And so when I met our movement again, I listened to the divine principle. I was so happy because I felt, yeah, God really exists, and it took away all my sadness. But also with the development of science, we can see now that scientists have discovered that even the invisible things can be very powerful, like the atom. We cannot see atoms with a naked eye, but it has a very powerful effect, good or bad. It can be used both ways. But what I want to say is that science found out more and more that the invisible part of the world, they also more and more realize that there may be a God, and also realizing the beauty of creation. My daughter told me that there is a place now they found where stars are born. And just when you look at this, you just feel such an awesome feeling. You cannot believe that this was just made itself through a big bang. There is an intelligence and a heart behind it. So basically, now it is easier for science and religion to unite because of that. Yeah. So that's my takeaway.
Thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Grace. And I think I very much agree. I think we all pretty much agree. And so actually just a fun fact, I've heard somewhere that Albert Einstein investigated quantum physics. And if you don't know what quantum physics is, quantum is the research of something even smaller than atoms. So even more invisible, and to a point that we can't even record it. But he really wanted to see if God was real. And so he wanted to research quantum physics and research even the smaller details of science. And so it's like, it's already in between the lines. It's actually very beautiful how kind of God is showing us how he works even through the quantum understanding. And of course, many people say you don't really understand quantum physics. That also says that we sometimes don't understand how God works, but God is working either way. So I think there's a very interesting correlation there, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so science is a very beautiful thing, and God very much created that. So also want to, so thank you for your sharing. I also want to ask one more person, and Mrs. Matsunaga, would you like to share today? Would you be able to share today? Yeah.
I had the break room with Kyoko Bowman-san and Tomoko-san. We talk in Japanese, so I try. Maybe different little point. I was working 10 years at the farm, so in Hawaii, coffee farm, they do pesticide-free farming. It's so difficult. I remember first time I saw the worms, this big, start eating the pepper tree. So there's a small tree. It's so everything gone. Looks like winter time, no leaves, no fruits, nothing. So I saw the first time what's happening. I didn't understand. So I found the big worm. They eat more. So how difficult. Don't use pesticide, and yeah, they do keep doing so a great job. Yeah, we appreciate the nature. We have to develop and use for the people. So also science is for the people make a better life, happy life is very important, and people have to have a good motivation to do anything for the think of God and a good way to working. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Matsunaga. Actually, talking about, no, I'm not sure if the time zones are different, but at least I just wanted to mention the earlier point. I think we talked about just to be able to vast our destination with more people. We have somebody from Alabama, so that's great. So thank you, Mrs. Matsunaga, for joining us from Alabama every single day. Yeah, and I really love the testimony. I actually hearing the fact that, you know, it, even though it was harder to do no pesticides, you know, two parents felt like it was very important to still make it so it's not so disastrous in the environment. It's not so deteriorating to the environment, because they're taking care of the world and God's creation too. So even though we're, you know, creating something that can be industrial, that can be damaging to the environment, they decided to do something that was an extra step to take care of God's creation. And coming out of, I didn't know that came actually out of ICUS, and so I'm just very grateful that actually came out of a project for ICUS. And thank you for giving an actual testimony. Or is it actually from ICUS? It looks like, I don't know, that's what I thought that the reading said, but maybe I'm wrong. But yes, so thank you, Mr. Matsunaga, and thank you to share today. Thank you for the sharings today. All right, and oh yes, thank you, Mrs. Grice. And we're going to be able to jump into this next part, is just to be able to sing second and last part before we finish off this morning devotion. Actually, 1 second, give me one moment. There it is.
Good morning, brothers and sisters. Hope you're having a great Sunday. Let's all join in singing the song of the heavenly soldiers. Before morning sun has come upon the red of our road, come rise.
thank you, LA Band, once again. And right now we're going to jump into our 7-minute unison prayer. So please unmute yourselves and be able to pray out loud. We'll be done at 7:02. So much for this time. It's only here as brothers and sisters. Here at our Atlanta Family Church, we're just grateful for everything that you've done, everyone that you've done to bless our lives just that much better. That you can be able to remember
about the one for my brother, brothers and sisters, that you the great works
world peace
there
on this earth.
here, Joseph,
Their life to do
There's a science
each one of us,
and they are developing a new way.
but
This
we
work
together
and against the God.
this time,
There are so many scientific that
Spirit
develop
create the
is
system that we're doing.
help each other, pray each other.
each
and the
one of us.
miserable and the heavenly parents.
Father,
This is
That's the reality of their life and I face.
whenever
They are
we
now
are in
nuclear weapons to use
to
that
mothers,
destroy the people
want to show
and this
you are the
how
heavenly
God is
parents.
working
Science
since
needs
you are
direction.
start
our
the
two
creation,
parents,
Oh,
you never change.
giving them
You always
the vision and the
give us
strategy
and
happy
I'm
fight
so
life.
over
grateful,
the satanic
You
war.
want to
dreams
Yes,
with us.
we,
like us wanted to share
whenever
the
we learn
technology
How much
the
is
world
broken heart
history
Father,
of
for everything that
when
you right now,
our
others'
we need to
family,
blessing.
couldn't
They have the
parents,
follow
land,
your
they
us,
want
direction.
that we're going to make
and
it individually and as a group,
parents
as
to
a
get
Atlanta family, we're going to really make the
even they
province
cannot
move. We have to make the
establish
province
water
move. We have to make the impact in this
make
world, to
the
make the impact that we have.
Abraham's family
But we cannot be
Father, we
one
need the
fronting
the
off
share
three
no more. We will not be
generations.
hiding anymore behind
the
any
science
That's
for the
Unfortunately,
people
lead the province,
Father
not
couldn't
lead the
send
the
the
so that you
benefit
can
Messiah
join us
to
what we're
because
moving forward and making
world
this
we need
much
they are
bigger
all thinking
than
about their own benefit
family.
in their own countries.
connect
every single
But the
day.
religion are able to create
Next time,
that we have
And that we
repair
pray for
for the human
you are
at the same
way. All
two
human
parents
can be
Father,
peaceful
that you can join
and
us forward.
living and
such a
then
small
they are
country,
all
Korea,
parents' heart.
Father, your
did
heart has
not
been
prepare
crying out loud for such a long
a
time,
small
and we haven't been able to
country
hear it
with
for
one
such a
small
long time.
tool.
And even if we're in the
Every
church, and
time
sometimes we don't hear it, Father,
Japan
we need to be able to listen,
resistant strong
Appreciate
understand what you mean and what you mean.
the heart.
and all
And we need to be able to understand your heart and your providence,
Brothers and
such a
sisters,
small
heart.
country.
and how much
We
your
didn't
life
know,
has been,
nobody knew.
right? Your life has been in
We
it.
have a big wisdom
Putting
to work for the
our
world.
two parents,
and
putting
then they are
such
very
a effort
smart
Pray
people
that
how
you can
much
join us
and they
forward.
have so
that's
very good
Province,
to
when
us
we need
and
divine
give us
and they are
punishment
not
as the
just
parents.
we
share
want
to the others
come back
who is not talented
Everyone,
that
heart
all
the
human
clear
beings,
heart
speaking the one
like if you
the
mother
parent has
wishes,
to reflect
mother
of
tongue,
and science
the
and the
heavenly
religion
parents.
has to come
Korean,
We
together. This is
have
the
only
mind and the
behavior,
body is heavenly
everyone
but
has
now
so they can be
different
the
situations.
world,
live
And
so many
together
people
with the
parents
harmony,
say
share
K-pop
all
with
things
parents
together,
and
and the
heavenly
teach
parents
religion
protected
for the moral
Korean
we can
standard.
tunes,
overcome.
Science
We
cannot
can
walking
grow.
fulfill the
around in
standards
all
Be a
heavenly
place to
world,
you
regret
are
no more. We
strong
cannot be in
God,
places.
heavenly parent
brothers
also
and
there.
parents,
Thank you for the
sisters.
idea of
Different
peace.
Complacency, we have to be modified.
Heavenly
support
in
parent,
the
Father,
we
city,
can meet
the
the
days,
pray for
other
every single
each
member
other.
that's
and
here.
2
We can be
days,
more
we
Also
peaceful
for the Atlanta
believe
Family Church.
our
The Family
meeting
Church
and the
needs to
more
grow.
heart is
Needs to grow.
in the
uh,
heavenly
That means a
parent.
challenge.
those
It is a
please
human being's
yes,
dream
move all
to visit
just the
all
short
of
every
the corner of the world,
spirit
because
heavenly
about
parent,
or
2
unstitched
to knowing
come
our
down
brothers and
to work
sisters
with
in
us.
faith,
We
and
unite
your
together
children to
new
know
the
each
best
forces
other,
conditions
understand
freedom
each other,
Father,
their culture and
uh,
their
we
eating food
just
and
like
all
us
So
in
that we can be with
culture they develop
peace.
different
providential change,
Just
not
for
through
unification and
defense.
stars
according
and
to
the
their
North
Father,
Pole.
parents, and sons.
United
we
heart, we pray
Conscious
and
over
also
the
build the
mothers
chain and the
in
line
health
heart of
and the
and the
building
unity,
safety
the
and
united
well-being.
for the
waiting for us
family
love and
and the
heart.
nation.
Spiritual Father
your
is
heart.
walking
God is a divine
heaven.
intercession, our Heavenly
The
Parent.
Spirit Lord and the
Recently, we
Virgin
both
Mother
spoke to one
guide
word
them.
And
for your
understand
disposable
the heart of your
information.
mother,
We
heart of
Is to
give
be a
us
divine
the
intercession.
grace.
what's
How
happening in
great
the
This
province.
communicated
it
with
was
us
to grant
and the
this
other
blessing
Heavenly
to
Parent.
all the people.
Heavenly Parent,
They
true parent is a really
people in the
watching
communist
heart,
country.
the
with
one
the
call is the unified
Papa,
with
world,
the
give God
expectation
declaring the
because of
Heavenly
religious
Parent.
realization
We
of
have
the
to
vision
grasp
freedom,
their
religious
and
freedom.
idea and
few
the
This is
direction
how
years.
much
Yes,
and
descending
what we
God's
want
Father,
blessing.
to
this
do.
year
We
to Mother,
Help us to
offer
go to
all
creation,
the
Cheon
Heavenly
Won
Parent.
to God,
Now is
offer
the
Shachi.
time,
you
Heavenly Parent,
We couldn't
all
and
hear
for the
brothers
or
and
did
sisters.
unification of North
We
and South Korea.
there's so much
As the
parents
frustration
and
in
husbands
representatives of
and
Buddha,
guide
parents
our
of
us
the
nations
world,
to the
couldn't
under
each
do
other.
the
make it
unification,
much.
Heavenly Parent,
Father,
you can be
Give us
spread
in
all
next
the
2 years,
really
unification in the world
to Mother
is a come
freedom
together as a
decided
united
to
Heavenly
do,
Parent.
based on
Father,
Heavenly
God's word.
Parent,
Providential
just
change.
that the
Divine
leave
country has
We need to
come
blessing.
be able to
to,
make a
We
difference.
education
and our
the
descendants is
difficulty.
going to
God
do
Now
was
we
something
have
forward
with our
about
all
this
the
foundation,
great
about
work
our
that idea.
ability
with
The
condition,
Heavenly Parent
champion
just
purpose.
has
This is
been
Father,
our
we have to show
stronger
parents.
power.
thousand
with the
years,
two
Heavenly Parent.
parents.
Two
And
parents.
the
We
account
really
the true
sing
parent
today
dream as well, Heavenly
and
Parent.
Everything you pray
working
for in the
together
name of the
Heavenly
Heavenly
Parent,
Father,
we
Blessed
have
and
the young
new
people
era.
Need
have the
be
We
vision,
will
Holy
the
believe
vision
each day
and the ideas for their
Son
vessel and
His
their life.
name.
I pray, send
Please
a
bless
blessing
him,
to
Lord.
you. Their
Bless
future
you.
woman's name I offer.
Bless you.
이 결에 사례는 통일 이 나라 자는데 통일 통일이어서우라 통일이어라. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining Morning Heart Devotion. Thank you for praying. And I can see some people wrapping up now, but we're so grateful for everything that has happened here at Morning Heart Devotion. We hope that you can share this love and this this time with other people that you know that are not joining today, with any other Atlanta Family Church members, or if you know somebody even from Florida or South Carolina, we're still all District 5, and we'd love to have them as well. So if you ever want to invite any of them, feel free, or anybody that you know, Alabama side, you can please invite them as well. But yeah, just feel free to invite people to this Morning Heart Devotion, even if it's just YouTube version, fine too. But yeah, so thank you, everybody. Today's announcement was today's Sunday service, so we hope that you can join us in person and Sunday service. We're still not there in person, so we'll be there physically. I believe this is the last Sunday. Oh no, next Sunday is going to be the last one we're going to do on Zoom, and then from then on we're going to be in person. So no more going back and forth. We're officially going to be planted on the ground in Georgia by not next Sunday, but the Sunday after. So we'll see you all physically there. But for today, please join us for Sunday service and in person or on Zoom. And thank you, everybody. And we'll be able to see you tomorrow for Morning Heart Devotion. All right. Thank you, everybody. God bless.
Thank you,
some people.
Dr. Mao, for your hard work yesterday.
Masters, have a
Hi,
beautiful,
Bruce.
blessed
Good
day.
morning.
God
Hi,
bless everybody.
Rolanda.
Thank you for that,
Coco-san, Catherine, Anderson-san, and
Thank you.
Pastor Erica, Kazuko-san, and Kimura-san.